Alright everyone, we got some pretty cool reveals tonight for Yu-Gi-Oh! And the first off is a one-off card from Age of Overlord. And that being Earthbound Support. That's right, we got the next Earthbound Servant card. That being Geo Gremlina, who we are not getting in the Animation Chronicle, or whatever subsequent set name is going to be called in TCG. But anyway, so level 6 Dark Fiend Fusion Effect Monster, 2000 attack, 1000 defense. Its materials are an Earthbound monster and a Dark monster. And I can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name once per turn. If this card's special summoned, you can add an Earthbound monster from your deck to the hand, except Earthbound Spirit. Fucking Christ, it's a Frog the Jam situation. For those who don't know who Earthbound Spirit is, it's just an old ass vanilla monster from, I believe, Legend of Blue Eyes. So we got that Frog the Jam situation with Earthbounds, and that is hilarious. But this is a Rhoda for the deck, and I think that's pretty cool. If your deck has a Rhoda built in on your monster, a Stratos type effect, hey, you're cool in my book. Effect number 2, you can target one Dark Synchro monster you control. It can attack directly this turn. I think you have what's his name? The Battle Phase Fusion hoo-ha type of monster. The quick effect one. I think you have him attack. Then you activate the effect of it. Then you activate its effect. Then you make a Geo Grasha or Geo Kraken or something like that. And then effect number 3, if a monsters your opponent controls is destroyed by an Earthbound's card effect, you can target one of those destroyed monsters, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. So Earthbounds can now OTK. We can OTK now. Okay, well I shouldn't say that. We've been able to OTK before, but through the works of Greater Limewalker, but that took so many steps to do. It was funny when it went off, like very funny. You have your opponent's life points with Greater Limewalker, and then you attack with Kokapakapu for game. That was hilarious. But now, we don't need to activate a field spell in order to even think about doing that. We just summon this and an Earthbound Synchro monster, and we're gaming. So overall, I think this card's pretty neat because of the Stratos type effect. Good job on that, Konami. It's pretty okay in my book. And then finally, we got the first of the 3 new archetypes coming in, Valiant Smashers. So what's my saying? Whenever there's a new archetype, there's new possibilities. And new possibilities can create a new, potentially competitive deck that can become like a Tier 1 or Tier 2 deck. Or just be good on release. And we got the Memento monsters. Now, before I started this video, I glanced over at the Memento monsters. They're just retrains of older cards from the past. Hence the name Mementos. They're like mementos of the past. They're like zombified versions of these monsters. And you'll see what I mean here. So first of all, we got Mementorio Tectolica. Or in other words, Mementorio Tectolica, the Nether Skull Dragon. Try saying that 3 times fast. Level 11 Earth Worm Effect Monster. Oh, it's got that Sword Soul and Tenyi synergy. Oh man, Memento Sword Soul may become a thing. I joke. 5,000 attack and defense. It's a big boy right here. This is a big boy right here. Alright, so what does he do? He's gotta have a good effect in order to warrant that big beefy fucking stat line. Ugh. Cannot be normal summon set. Must be special summon from your hand or graveyard. Alright, I like this already. Please be good. By shuffling 5 other Memento monsters with different names from your hand and or graveyard into the deck or extra deck. Okay then. So, I'm guessing it's a sort of easy summoning condition. But since it says extra deck, I wonder if we're going to get extra deck based Memento monsters. Ooh, maybe like a sandwich Memento retrain. Or even, and this would be funny, a Stardust Dragon one, even though that wouldn't happen. Ooh, maybe a Colossal Fighter. That'd be funny. Anyway, if you control no other monsters, this card can attack all your opponent's monsters each once. What? And once per turn, if your opponent activates a card or effect, you can special summon a Memento monster from your hand or graveyard. Monster Reborn, able to attack all your opponent's monsters. This card is a one-off at most. But hey, I think this is actually pretty cool. A card like this is a actual boss monster of the deck. Like, this archetype just has its own boss monster that may be easy to summon in its own archetype. I hope it's easy to summon in its own archetype and it's just warrants that those 5 cards to shuffle back into the deck or extra deck. Anyway, moving on. Then we got Memento Horned Dragon. Yeah, like I said, retrains. It literally says this card's a remake of Tri-Horned Dragon. It's zombie Tri-Horned Dragon. Anyway, Memento Horned Dragon. Level 8 Dark Dragon effect monster, 2850 attack, 2350 defense. You can only special summon with the first effect of this card's name each once per turn. You can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. If you have 3 other Memento monsters with different names in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. Alright then. If this card on the field is destroyed by a card effect, you could target 3 face-up cards on the field, including at least 1 Memento card you control. Destroy them. Alright, so you pop 2 cards your opponent controls, and you pop a Memento card. This could potentially be good. Maybe. It does have a summon. It does have a special summon effect, and it does have a potential pop 2 your opponent controls. I don't know if this card's any good or not. Let's go down here. Then we got Memento Tatsu no Toshiko. Apparently it's already a remake of... what the fuck is a Memento Tatsu Toshiko? Tatsu no Toshiko. I'm just gonna stop butchering it. I'm just gonna call him the horse. Level 5 Earth Beast effect monster, 1350 attack, and 1600 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If you control no face-up monsters other than Memento monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. And during your main phase, you can destroy 1 Memento monster you control. If you do, send any number of Memento monsters with different names whose total levels are lower or equal than destroy monsters' original levels from your deck to the graveyard. So what I'm getting from this is that it's not Monster Reborn, excuse me. It's that it's a Foolish Burial or even a Grass type effect. I gotta say, I like this a lot more than I do Memento Horned Dragon. I mean, Memento Horned Dragon looks way cooler. than this, but this effect's kind of better than this. Or it could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. I like to be proven wrong. But so far, this archetype is pretty okay so far. Let's see what else we have. And this card's a remake of the horse. Next up, we got Memento Fairy Witch. Level 3 Dark Spellcaster effect monster. 800 attack, 1000 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If this card is no more special summoned, add one Memento monster from your deck to your hand, except Fairy Witch. Adds a 3-up just because of that. Just because of that, that's a 3-up. You can target one level 2 or lower Memento monster in your graveyard. Destroy one Memento monster you control. And if you do, special summon the targeted monster. Like I said, this is a 3-of. And I'm going to call now, when this card comes to English, when this whole set comes to English, this is going to be one of the most expensive cards in the deck. Because it just seems like it does everything. It searches and it pops and summons. It seems to just do everything. I'm expecting this card to be very expensive when it comes out. But it's a remake of Fairy Witch, which is a normal monster. And then nextly we got Memento Mace. Level 1 light fairy effect monster, 400 attack or 300 defense. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. During your opponent's main phase, if you control Mementorio Tactolica, the Nether Skull Dragon, quick effect, you can discard this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, take control of it until the end phase. Alright then. During your main phase, you can destroy one Memento monster you control. Then if you do, add one Memento card from your deck to your hand except Memento Mace. Okay, so it's a quick effect, change of heart. And it's a pop and add. I'm going to say this is also a 3-of. And it's a level 1, so you can 1-for-1 it. So that's pretty cool. So this is going to be a 3-of, and this is going to be a 3-of. These two are probably the best cards that I've read from this archetype. So let's see what else we have. Memento Goblin. 400 attack, 400 defense. Level 1 Dark Fiend effect monster. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. During your main phase, if you control Mementorio Tactolicia, the Nether Skull Dragon, quick effect, discard this card. Your opponent cannot target Memento monsters you control with card effects this turn. It's a pseudo hand trap of sorts, because it gives your Memento monsters protection. So like I said, pseudo protection. Oh, and I also forgot this is also a remake of Key Maze, which is just a vanilla that the AI on whatchamacallit, Dueling Nexus uses when you just want test hands. It was in 5Ds when that team tried to summon that big giant level 12 monster. Anyway, getting off topic. Let's see, effect number 2. During your main phase, you can destroy one Memento monster you control, and if you do, send up to 2 Memento cards, I almost said monsters, with different names from each other from your deck to the graveyard, except Memento Goblin. And this is a remake of Calligraphy Goblin. That's a double foolish. It's a sort of just a double foolish. It does have protection. I want to say this card's good. It is another 1-for-1 target, just like Mace. It could be good. Let me know if it's good. Because these two right here are bonkers for the deck. But this, I'm kind of iffy on this. God damn, I want to say this is... Well, hold on. Upon reading this, especially this could potentially be a one-of. So we'll just have to see. So anyway, now we go on to the spells. We got Nether Skull Temple Mementorian. Let me look at this art for a minute. That's some cool as hell art. Reminds me of that old spell that came out way back in the day that you can only activate during your main phase 1. Or I think it was at the start of your main phase 1. It was one of it. It was one of the two. It's just the inscriptions on the walls with the torches. That makes me think of that card. Hey, maybe that was a point. Maybe that was a reference. I mean, we got retrains here. Except for you, you're completely new. We got complete retrains. So this could be, in a way, a retrain of that card. But I'm probably wrong. I'm probably thinking too much of this. Anyway, you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. And this is a field spell. If your Memento monster battles your opponent, your opponent cannot activate spell traps until the end of the damage step. That's actually pretty damn good. I'm not gonna fucking lie with you. If a monsters you control destroy by battle card effect, you can target one of them. Special summon a Memento monster with a level lower from your hand or graveyard. So it has a lot of swarming. It does say no to your opponent's spell traps. This could potentially be pretty good. And then the third effect, once per turn during your end phase, you can target one Memento spell trap in your graveyard and set it. I want to say this is passable. Let me think here. Your opponent cannot activate spell traps. Special summons a Memento monster with a lower level. Yeah, this card's good. And then finally, well, it's not finally, excuse me. Next, we got Memento Bone Party. Quick play! You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn each. Destroy one Memento monster in your hand or face-up field, and if you do, take one Memento monster with a different name from your deck, either add it to your hand or special summon it to defense position. Alright, so it's a special summon or an add to your hand. That's really good. Damn. Effect number 2. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one Memento monster you control. If it attacks the defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. This effect seems kind of duty. Unless you're fighting that one super heavy samurai player at your locals. But this effect is duty. This first effect, it's really damn good. So, Memento Boneback. Quick play. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If a face-up Memento monsters you control leaves the field by your opponent, special summon one Mementorial Taclodia, the Nether Skull Dragon, from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Just summon the boss. just summon the 5K guy. Just say fuck your opponent. If your opponent moves a Memento monsters out of your graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, special summon as many Mementos with different names from your hand and or deck. It's a literal potential soul charge. It's a special summon from the deck or hand. It summons the boss card. That's so stupid. That's so stupid. It's a soul charge from the deck or hand, but you're going to be summoning from the deck half the time. Don't lie to me. You're going to summon from the deck half the time. You're going to summon from that deck. This card is cracked. This card's stupid. I like this card a lot more than this, simply because I could just summon the 5K guy and say fuck you to my opponent. Anyway, moving on, we got Memento Fracture Dance. Normal trap. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name, each once per turn. If you control a Memento monster, target one card on the field destroyed. Then, if you do, if you control Mementorial attack the Nether Skull Dragon guy, destroy one other card. Okay, so it's a destroy 2. That's okay then. When an attack is declared involving your Memento monster and an opponent's monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard. All your opponent's monsters that they currently control lose 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. Okay, that can be really funny. This card's really funny. I like this card. It's really damn funny. And then, we got the last card here. Memento. Cranium Burst. Continuous Trap. What is this art? Oh, it's the Nether Skull guy. You can only activate the second effect of this card's name once per chain. Your opponent must attack the Memento monsters you control with the highest attack, if able, while you control any. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, target a Nether Skull Dragon you control. It loses exactly 1,000 attack and negate that effect. Alright, so you make your Nether Skull weaker just for a negate. I like this card more than I do this. Overall, I think this is a very good first impression. These two cards are obscene. This card's pretty neat. This card, it might be a one-of. I think it's pretty okay now that I've read the other cards, because you can send more stuff to the graveyard. But I will say this card can be a little bit better. This card is just busted. This card's hilarious. Overall, we can play under, what's the name of that attribute one? Oh, wait, we can actually play under Teekboo. That's funny. Overall, Konami, fantastic job here. This is gonna be an archetype I keep an eye out on. Am I gonna buy a box of this set? No, I don't do no damn boxes no more. I just buy the singles. But hey, I think this archetype's really neat. Overall, that's all I gotta say. Those are some pretty interesting card reveals tonight. The Earthbound one I like, and I really, really like this archetype a lot. Good job, Konami. Good job. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you another night or day, depending on the time zone.